two ways. Our guy can wrestle in all positions. You know, we got to get going, but you know, it shows. You know, he's got a dimension in his wrestling that's dangerous, and it gives opponents pause.
Did you say anything to the guys at intermission? Because it seemed like you guys were a lot more active on the neutral position.
We were consistent in our dialogue, as we always are. There's not really, you know, where you're going to go in and you know, upset an apple cart to get a message, you guys. It's a matter of going out and being ready to wrestle and having confidence in what you do best. I mean, this guy right here, I mean, he scored 11 points in 4 minutes of wrestling. And so, you know, you can talk about how slow it was in the first period, or you can talk about how much more firepower he's leaving, you know, off the scoreboard, just because you get a little bit more ready to go. You also have to realize that this is a style that we're going to see a lot. Guys are holding points and, you know, and working hard to stay in the center of the mat, and so it's not something where, you know, you can just go out there and let your opponent dictate the pace. And that was an issue, I think. I think it's more where we settled into being comfortable with our opponent's pace instead of, you know, changing speeds and getting some explosion going where you can get in deep when you have to early. And as the match goes on, you get a little bit more comfortable. You start to, you know, get a grind on them. But boy, you can really make that grind pay off by getting early takedowns. And you know, it's something we need to continue to work on.
Questions for Ananda 3?
Can you talk a little bit about the way these two closed both of their matches?
Brooks with an exclamation mark, and Sorensen got a major decision. So good job, guys. All right.
Sam, is that a page out of Metcalf's book? Is that something you saw from him, or?
Yeah, I mean, watched Metcalf do that before, obviously, but just something that's sort of come into my wrestling through just trying it in practice and stuff. So I wouldn't say I was thinking about Metcalf out there.
Hey Tom, you outscored them 45 to 15 in the third period. What does that say about your conditioning and about your team?
It says we're strong in the third period, and you know, I'd like to probably have the other stat, you know, in the first period, and then, you know, we gotta be able to, you know, do that in the first period, and then it's really lopsided. And you know, this is where, for me, this is where this makes sense. Is you get the first takedown, you get to the point where your third period is stronger quicker, and then that's where you really start to control matches. It doesn't take as long. We got to use the first period. And you know, good philosophy there is that when a guy's done with the first period, he feels like he went through an entire match. And that doesn't happen by just going through the first period. You have to work hard. It's not easy to do. There's no shortcut to getting two guys in the first period. And you have to realize that it's hard work and you have to buy into it. But the other thing is that you don't stay stagnant either. And so you got to give these guys some credit, even though, you know, it sounds like the direction of the, you know, whatever the theme is here is that we were slow starters in the first 5 weeks. You got to give these guys credit for being able to do what you said, outscore heavy in the third period. We want to own the third period. We want to own the second period. We want to own the first period. We're greedy.
Brandon, what do you think the turn did for your match?
What do you mean by the turn?
What? Yeah, when you got the near fall there.
Oh yeah, I mean, it helped out, but you know, like you said, it's kind of a style that they're holding more, and I need to clear the ties, get where I want to be. Do that in the first period. Turn, I don't know. I got me points. I guess I don't think it really needed to keep, you know, a tough ride on him, take it out of him, and keep wearing on him to score more points.
Was that something that you used in the Oklahoma State meet too, that little stuff back?
Yeah.
Is that something that is just presenting itself here early on, or is that something that you've kind of looked for specifically?
Well, I mean, I've done it before a little bit, but we've, you know, been working on it through, you know, the past couple of years. heavy this year, and the opportunity's there, I'm going to hit it.
Tom, what was your take on 74 and what Alex did to create some separation there?
Good job. You know, I liked how he's going hard at the end to get a major decision, and again, you know, I tell you what, and you know, you talk about riding here, and Meyer, he took it out of him riding it. Those turns come from hard riding. Those turns don't come from tricks. I mean, you know, the question that you ask about presenting itself, that's exactly what happens when you ride hard. Those opportunities do present themselves. It's not something that you're looking for, or a trick, or a shortcut. And these guys can turn guys a lot of different ways. And you know, Meyer, the only thing I saw with Meyer was he got a little bit, you know, jumped it a little bit on the roll. And you got to be careful there. You have to really have that tight. And you know, that's where, you know, Sam Brooks' patience won out in his match to really put the exclamation mark on it, because you know, he has that loose, but you're not rolling. You're not just throwing caution at the wind. You got to get those things tight. And they were definitely aware and had worked on that. You could hear as soon as we got there in the corners, awareness went way up, and they were, you know, pushing back into us. And we just need to be a little bit more explosive and a little bit more where you're like jolting guys there, and then you can take that better. But you know, that's where Birak was smart too. You know, a couple times, you know, you can see he wanted to go, but he's a little bit smarter and not putting himself in danger there. But those tough rides are what's scoring points.
Brandon, going back to the suck back, is that just part of maybe the emphasis to add more to your arsenal of scoring or score more?
I mean, yeah, it's, you know, more to my arsenal, but if the opportunity's there, I'm going to hit it. Just like if Barham's there, I'm going to hit it. If, you know, the single's there, I'm going to hit it. So I think it just comes from my heavy pressure forward, where they like to sit out, and opens up the opportunity. And so, yeah.
Sam, was that the plan all along when you led him up to his feet there, to look for something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I knew on bottom he was kind of just holding there, you know, sort of basing out, not really, you know, he was trying not to get pinned, I think. And so I was going to let him up and maybe try and throw him from his feet or whatever, just like Sorensen saying, whatever was there. He came up pretty hard, so I just smacked him with it. Pretty good.
Anything else for these guys?
Coach Sam Stoll, he's dangerous from his feet. Almost got him in trouble tonight. How do you manage his Greco from so he doesn't get in trouble?
I would say that he's managing it pretty well. I would say that, you know, the foot sweep, you know, you got to pack a guy there, and you got to really clamp a guy there. So when you bounce, you're not bouncing and, oh, he's in danger, and then you relax a little bit like it's going to be automatic. You got to put the clamp on the guy. You know, a couple times on the edge, you know, he's trying to throw. We got in trouble with him with one of our backup heavyweights a couple years ago, where you know, he's good at that. He gets some momentum going, and then he hits like a real hard arch or an elevator with his legs, and he's a little bit round, and so he rolls like a ball. And you know, you got to stick guys like that with your hips, and you know, we just got to keep getting better. The thing with Stoll that I liked was his pressure, and not being hesitant there because of maybe the dangerous positions that guy could create. We were very confident, and when we were controlling the underhook, we were controlling both sides. And that's why we really never, we got in a little bit of trouble maybe, and we got to be smarter there, but it's more about not relaxing at the very bitter end there. And that was one heck of a foot sweep. That was a pretty foot sweep, but we got to really batten down the hatches there. You got to really nail it down.
Thank you.